Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Wokey, and I'm back with another fake Grand Order video. And what are we going to be talking about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about the pre-release campaign for the upcoming Witch on the Holy Night collab event, which is Kumano Hot Springs. That's going to be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's begin, shall we? So when does the campaign for the pre-release start? It starts on the 24th and it goes until April 7th. Now, the next likely question you're going to be asking is, when does the actual Witch on the Holy Night collab event start? And I was originally going to release this video about a day ago when they announced this originally, but we didn't actually have the start date for the event itself, so I figured if I wait a day, maybe they'll release something to let us know when it is, either a maintenance notice or saying if there's going to be some kind of collab live stream or video of some kind out there for the collab. And yeah, they did. So we're going to have a Chaldea Broadcast Station US Branch Light Volume 25 on the 29th. And on the 29th, they'll talk about the upcoming events, campaigns, and updates, so that's likely when it's going to happen. So for me, when this happens, that will happen is that this video will go up, the game will go into maintenance, and then after maintenance ends, the event itself will start, and you can summon and do all that good stuff. Now, for me, this means that the collab is actually on the 30th at like 1 a.m. at night. So I'm not sure how it would be. You'd probably have to figure out what PD time is for you, just because there's so many different people watching from all over the place. Playing the game, I mean, not watching the game. But yeah, that's when it's going to start. So glad I waited at least a little bit of day, because there's not that much actual info on it. But I guess I'll now go over what the campaign has, which is first look at the event bonus eligible servants and giving them 1/2 AP cost for their interludes, rank up quests, and then additional 20% bonus bond points gained. Woo, let's go. Here's an overview on Witch on the Holy Night, which I'll not look at because I don't know what it's about, and I actually just kind of want to play the game without knowing anything. There'll be a special accrued login bonus, and if you get everything from it, you'll get 3 Saint Quartz, a golden fruit, 5 HP and attack silver foe, which is the 3-star foe, and 2 million QP. And the login bonus period is from the 24th to April 7th, similar to the event itself. And yeah, very simple breakdown of it. First day is Saint Quartz, next day is golden fruit, then it's QP, then it's Saint Quartz, then it's the HP foe, then it's the attack foe, then finally it's a Saint Quartz. It's a login. There's not much to talk about with a login other than make sure to log in. These servants are going to have a bonus for it, which are going to be Shiki, Void Shiki, Muramasa, Fujino, Calamity Jane, Kid Gilgamesh, Sugitani Zenjobo, Colin, Kashin Koji, Karen, Space Ishtar, Bowsette, and then Mash herself. And they're all going to get the bonuses that usually entail with being related to the event itself. Then also these servants will have 20% increase to bond points gained from the event bonus servants. So that's also a limited time. This will go from the 24th to the 29th. This was likely another good hint to show me when the event itself was going to be starting, that this ends suspiciously on the 29th. Okay. And then also 1/2 AP cost for event bonus servants and interludes. So all of them, if they have an interlude, they'll get it half off, and the same is true for their rank up quests. So the only ones with interludes, it looks like, are Kid Gilgamesh and Kukulin, and then the ones for rank up quests are Void Shiki, Fujino, Kid Gilgamesh, Kukulin, and Karen. And then there'll be a new look from My Room for a limited time, depending on when you go to look in the My Room. Be it morning, afternoon, evening, or night, it will have like a slightly different tinge to them. This looks like a Tojo clan from Yakuza to me. And this will go from the 24th to at least April 19th, which makes it feel like that's likely when the event itself is going to end. Now that I look at it, actually, let's see if it starts on that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's actually 100% when the event itself ends. I should have paid maybe a little bit closer attention to some of these campaigns, because it's very obvious when the event itself starts. Anyway, 2 times chance of super and great suck for servant enhancements. The chances of super suck, double EXP acquired, and great suck, triple EXP, when performing servant enhancement, will be doubled for a limited time. This will be from the 24th to at least April 7th. To April 7th. And then all Ember Gathering and Training Ground quests will be unlocked as well. That's literally all of them. And then that's actually it. They didn't announce the banner that came out at the same time. I guess they didn't want to like show it. It's very weird, but there is a banner related to this. I'm gonna go transition right now, and then we'll talk about the banner. So give me a second. 3, 2, 1. Okay, transition complete, and now we are here with the banners that are going to be all around for the pre-release campaign. So it's going to be Super Bunyan, that's going to be accompanied with a Daikokuten, a Voyager that will be here with a Kyokoyo, and an Ilya that will be here with Miyu. The first banner should be Super Bunyan and Daikokuten, and then 2 days later it should be Voyager and Kyokoyo. Sorry, I always forget because there's two characters that have a K sound to them, so I have to remember which is which. It's this one in Kashin Koji, and unfortunately both of those are in this video. But anyway, 2 days after that, Ilya and Miyu, and then also coming along with them are the craft essences that came from their event. So if you're someone who's looking to maybe complete their craft essence collection, which I believe there are people like that who exist, I guess you can use it for those purposes. But for the most part, it's more of like a nice little neat bonus you get by summoning on these old banners. And yeah, that is actually it. Should you summon on these banners? By the way, here's a very quick and easy answer. No, you shouldn't. And this is where the video likely would end. But I think the video is barely like 6 minutes long or so. So what I am going to do, even though you should not summon, and this is likely where a lot of you will leave now, I thank you very much for watching the video. You got all the basic information that you want. I'm now going to talk about Daikokuten and Super Bunyan. I know you shouldn't summon for these. I just like these units and I'm going to talk about them, and I hope you enjoy me talking about them. But for the most part, if you want my quick advice on it, don't summon on these. If you were going to summon on the banner, it would likely be Castoria, and if you're summoning on these banners, it means that you love one of these 6 characters and you don't give a shit about what I say about what they do, right? You already made your decision up when you said I'm going to summon for them, and I wish you the best of luck if you decide to end up going for it, because I do actually like all the characters here. I don't know actually very much about Ilya and Miyu, and outside of some of the weird stuff they kind of do in the story, they seem perfectly fine when they get to act as just like normal little girls. But anyway, that's enough talking about that. Let's talk very quickly about Daikokuten and Super Bunyan. It should not be very long because, like I said, indulge me on this one. Daikokuten, she is, or they are, there's 5 members of Daikokuten, a limited servant, and they are caster. They have 2 quick, 2 arts, 1 buster, 5 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 3 hits on buster, 5 hits on extra. The first skill is Materious Service A, increases on quick performance for 3 turns, and then gain crit stars every turn for 3 turns. Recovers party's HP every turn for 3 turns. At level 10, skill level 10, it's 30% to quick, 10-star regen, 1000 HP regen on a cooldown of 5. Their second skill is to benefit all sentient beings. A, charges on MP gauge, charges party MP gauge every turn for 3 turns, 30% to the MP, and the MP regen is 10% on a cooldown of 6. Their third skill is the Kingdom of Children B, grants us party evasion for 1 attack, 3 turns, and then increases party's MP generation rate for 3 turns. At MP level 10, it's 30%, and this is on a cooldown of 6. Their passive skills are Territory Creation E, Item Construction D, and Divinity E-. Their third skill is an anti-moon cancer attack damage aptitude, and their noble phantasm is the Nezumi Jodo, Paradise of the Mice, rank A anti-army. It's quick, it hits 9 times, it reduces all enemies' quick resistance by 20% for 1 turn. This activates first, deals damage to them, and then increases party's critical damage by 20% for 3 turns. At MP level 1, it's 600%, and if you get them all the way to the final MP level, it's 1000. Their overcharge effect is a deal extra damage to enemies with the Earth attribute. At charge level 1, it's 150%, and if you get them all the way to the final charge level, it's 200%. And then their Bond C is When We Were Animals. Increases party's damage against enemies with the Earth attribute by 20% while self is on the field. And that's Daikokuten. How are they? I think they're really good. Listen, I'm gonna tell you up ahead, I have a bias. These mice, these wonderful little mice, are my grand caster choice. So you can likely not trust anything I have to say about them, but I think they're really good. I think that they're able to cover one of the main deficiencies of Quick, which is being able to give themselves just a little bit more NP gauge with MP regen, which is very nice. Being able to not only increase their MP generation rate, but for the entire party, if you're in a fight that encompasses more than them, that gives them an increase to 30%. And their Noble Phantasm hits 9 times, which is really good for, and the more hits you do, the better it is when MP regen, especially if you kill with earlier hits, and then all the additional hits will give you some more NP regeneration and stuff like that. They have a really nice anti-earth attribute, so if you ever need a niche in that, they can definitely be that. Increasing party's critical damage by 20% is stacking, so by the last turn, if for whatever reason, if you are using them a whole bunch to do all of this stuff and they're not enough to take down the enemy, because they are quick, they do give the party, like for that one turn on turn 3, a cool sweet 60% to critical damage just for free and for fun. I also like that they reduce the enemy's quick resistance by 20% before they do anything else, so if you go all in on them with the other 2 quick cards, you're going to be doing a decent amount of damage. And yeah, I really just like them. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really like these mice. I've enjoyed using them. I use them whenever I can. The obvious the negatives to them is that they are an AoE caster, and not everyone can use an AoE caster. I have to specifically go out of my way to try and use mine as much as I can, because the game does not actually give you that many opportunities to use them, but when I have them, I take advantage of them. One thing that can be a little bit on the annoying side, I guess it's not really annoying, but because they only have a single buster card, they can't take the full benefit of Ruler Scotty, but that means that you can just use the older Scotty because they do have at least 2 quick cards, so they can kind of take advantage of the increase to crit damage, which is a shame that they couldn't have maybe a little bit more buster cards to take advantage of it, because they could have definitely gotten a little bit more there. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm super satisfied with how they are. They are for a 4-star AoE. Oh, and the other thing that's a negative is that they are limited. So you have to go out of your way to summon for more of them to increase their NP and to get more coins for them, which is the biggest negative actually about them, because the servant coins that I have for them, I tried to get as much as I could, but I have like 4 copies, and that's not enough to get them all the way there, not without like some crazy bond stuff, and even then I'm missing some append skills. So even with all that, like I said, I really do think they're a really neat servant. I really like using them a whole bunch, and you'll have to indulge me on this one and just have to go with my word when I say I think they're really cool and I think they're neat. And there's like I said, there's, look at these mice. Look at these well-to-do mice. How could you not like them? Anyway, I'll move on to the next servant, which is going to be the last one we're going to be talking about, which is Super Bunyan. Super Bunyan. Okay. Super Bunyan is an alter ego. She's also a limited servant. She has 1 quick, 1 arts, 3 buster. 4 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 3 hits on buster, and 5 hits on extra. Active apps are Executive Order C. Active apps? What the fuck does that mean? Active skills. Her skills are Executive Order, increase own attack for 3 turns, increase... Actually, give me a sec. Okay, yes, I had to double check. The reason they're calling that is because of the phone stuff. I didn't even realize that. That's very funny. Anyway, moving on. Because this Super Bunyan has a lot of stuff on the phone that deals with phones, so they don't call them active skills, they call them active apps. That's very good. Anyway, Executive Order C increases own attack for 3 turns, increases party's buster performance for 3 turns, 30% to attack, 20% to buster on a cooldown of 6. Her second skill is Division Quest A, charges own NP gauge, and then overcharges party's NP by 1 stage for 1 turn, 30% to NP, and this is on a cooldown of 6. Her third skill is the Let's Spread Maple Syrup A, seals all enemies NP for 1 turn, reduces their critical chance for 3 turns, and then increases party's critical absorption star of buster cards for 3 turns. The reducing of critical attack chance is by 30%, and the buster absorption is 500% at skill level 10. Also, the cooldown is 6. Her passive skills are Magic Resistance C, Item Construction C, the Power of Like EX, grants self a buff on attack buff, or grants self the like buff. And then her append skills are, for the third, is an anti-berserker attack damage aptitude, because strangely enough, this Bunyan is anti-Bunyan. Talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Her Noble Phantasm is, after a strengthening, which we don't have yet, so its current version is actually America's, is this one, which I'll talk about first. America's Sweetheart of Darkness, the star-spangled symbol that clears away the darkness, rank A, anti-army, hits 3 times, deals damage to 1 enemy, Deals 100% plus 5% and extra damage to enemies, which is based off of your like stacks, and likes can stack up to 10 times. At MP level 1, it's 600%, and you get it all the way to MP level 5, it's 1000, and then it reduces their defense for 3 turns. This does not activate first. And at charge level 1, it's 10%, and if you get all the way to the final charge, it's 30%. And if you want to see the increased version of it, you also gain 20 crit stars, and you do the natural NP damage stuff, which gives an increase on here. And that's all they gave. And then her final, which they call RF level, is the Great Mystery. When equipped on Super Bunyan, increase own MP damage by 30% and grants self an on defeat activated buff. Grants self like buff for 5 turns when defeating an enemy. So how is Super Bunyan? Let's just go up here real quick. How is Super Bunyan? Well, similar to Daikokuten, I guess I should say outright that I do have a bias, and I really do like Super Bunyan, both in terms of a character, which is not a very popular opinion from what I've been able to see, though I wonder if it's changed a little bit after some of the more revelations that's come out. And the other thing is that I like her as a unit, but this is not also something that most people kind of share with me. So I'm going to try my best to try and explain it. And I also agree with some of the things people say about her in the negative light of her kit. So her kit makes her a bit underpowered in a lot of ways. She doesn't have enough buffs to kind of offset the low power damage that she has. She is also an alter ego, so she does kind of have to worry about if she has to fight, for example, a saber and a rider. She's able to do bonus damage to one of them, and then the other one she kind of has to struggle for, so that makes it a little bit a pain in the ass to use her, especially if it's like a mixed node of some kind, because she can handle one of them and then she can't handle the other. But then there's also some cases where she can't even handle that one because she doesn't have enough power to her. So if you want to get more power out of her, you have to increase her Noble Phantasm. And this buff actually does help a little bit in terms of making her Noble Phantasm hit a little bit harder, so that MP1 is basically like having an MP2 and stuff like that. But it also, I'll be honest, when this buff originally came out, it was not what I wanted out of Super Bunyan. It was not what I expected it to be, the buff that would make Super Bunyan better, especially when, like, for example, her overcharge ability, it's so weird that she has it only lasts for a single turn, and then her overcharge ability does not actually apply first when she goes to attack. Was the 10% like needed extra really not enough for them to go for it? It's a little bit weird. She was built extremely weird. Now, in terms of being built extremely weird, the other thing she has, which I've learned from the Japanese side and how they use Super Bunyan, which is not something that is feasible for most people, so I understand when I've tried to use her in this way where I could, but it's not possible for me to use it everywhere. Super Bunyan has an extremely fast Noble Phantasm that lasts like 2 seconds long. It's the fastest Noble Phantasm in the game. I think the only other competition is like the other Bunyan, which is Berserker Bunyan. Both of them have the record for the shortest Noble Phantasm. She has 2 different one of them, and I believe the second one is the one that is the faster of the 2. So for that reason, if you want to shave off like a cool 30 seconds from your grinding, you can save a lot of time by just using Super Bunyan, because she'll get in, get out extremely quick. I've tested this myself after I saw Japanese people actually complaining about them buffing Super Bunyan when they felt like there were other alter egos to buff first because she was already really good. And that's when I learned that there was a bunch of Japanese people that just get Super Bunyan to higher NP levels to completely ignore her problems with her skills and the fact that she needs likes. If you just have her NP 5 and let her do the maximum damage, then she'll have enough damage to potentially knock out something in a couple turns, and you're in, out, super easy, bingo bongo, everything, no problems whatsoever, right? And that is definitely one way of doing it, and after I saw that's how they used it, I attempted to use it my way, though of course mine is NP1, so I couldn't use her in every kind of way. But she did shave down a lot of my times on a lot of other grind teams that I was able to put her into. So I do see merit in that kind of gameplay, but I just wish her actual skills were better, and I feel like that makes it so that if Super Bunyan, it's an easy skip, because for the most part, I think you would only really summon on Super Bunyan if you were some kind of crazy whale that was willing to get her to MP5. Not very many people exist like that are willing to do that for Super Bunyan, because there's also another thing that Super Bunyan's lore was not well received at the time, I'll say. I actually feel like I was the only person on our side that was like fully ready. I kind of feel like the event itself got a little bit of a disservice because everyone was waiting for Arcade to get a collab, and instead of Arcade, it went to Learning with Manga. And as such, everyone hated the Learning with Manga before they ever had it. And then for whatever reason, when the event itself came out, it was not well received. It was considered one of the worst event stories out there, which is crazy to me because the actual worst collab story is, of course, to me, the one for Voyager, which is unfortunate because I love my boy Voyager and Marie Alter does come from it, but I think that's actively one of the worst because it's the only event story that's ever made me mad while reading it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is that it was not well received when it first came out, but I did still enjoy it when it came out. But one of the things I noticed, and I've been meaning to do a larger video talking about all of this because there's not enough. This video is now longer than I wanted it to be, so I'll very quickly try and explain. But when you're reading through Bunyan's event, you'll notice that there's these weird inconsistencies in the event story itself that feels like it's hinting towards something bigger, but it never reveals what it is. And then Super Bunyan herself has like a lot of weird like inconsistencies with Bunyan itself. She doesn't really feel like Bunyan, and actually that's one of the big criticisms that she had from back in the day, was that she doesn't really feel like Bunyan at all. And then I remember, so I tried to look up more information because the other thing that's really weird about her is actually this CE herself, which is the Great Mystery. And in the Great Mystery itself, there's like this, I remember because when this first was translated, I didn't understand why she had it. Because the lore for it, first of all, this looks like nothing like Super Bunyan, so why is she giving it this? And then the lore itself says, I came to this world from a land where elements roam free. I gave you names, taught you how to speak, and shared my wisdom with you, including how to make maple syrup. So I really think you could stand to show more in the way of appreciation than you have been. And that doesn't make sense because it also doesn't really fit Super Bunyan. And I tried my hardest to try and find some answers to what I was looking for. I was like doing deep searches, trying to figure out what is going on here, because I've never been able to figure out what was going on, and I wasn't able to figure it out. And then I think like literally a couple weeks later, Rio came out with the answer, and that answer itself completely made me change how I view Super Bunyan. It's some insane lore. I literally do not have time to explain it to you, but when I read that, I was literally like mouth agape because I have an entire folder that I've been waiting for years to attempt to make a video talking about what's going on with Super Bunyan, because I've never been able to figure it out. And I feel like now that I understand what he was trying to do, that event itself was a event to say, I want you to try and solve this, and unfortunately nobody did. So eventually he just gave the answer, but now there's more questions than I've ever had than anything else. But anyway, that's me trying to justify Super Bunyan. Now that we're here at the end, I can just tell you right now, for the most part, 99% of players should just skip this banner. I'm debating summoning on it for a single multi, but that's because I'm insane, and as I said, I love Super Bunyan, and those are the only people that should be summoning on this type of banner. Everyone else, wait for the collab. It's literally happening in like 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 days for me, so I'm gonna say 5 days or so. But anyway, that's the end of the video, everyone. It somehow was able to get just a little bit longer than it should have, but most of it is because of the Super Bunyan lore. It's gonna be really funny if it turns out that this just doesn't come out. If this banner just doesn't come out and there's just no banner to go alongside them, because there's already like, they launched 4 banners like yesterday and they're launching more, so it'd be funny if there was none. But anyway, I thank you very much for watching this video, especially if you decided to stick around to hear me talk about 2 servants that I really like. I guess feel free to leave your opinions about them, but do know that if you're too overly negative, I will read your comment and I will silently cry and say, I understand, but I disagree. It's all good. I won't actually hurt my feelings. Don't worry about it. It's just the game. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, whenever it may be. So until next time, bye-bye, and good luck. Start saving up the St. Quartz and start gathering them up, because the collab is coming up pretty soon. Bye-bye.